All right, guys. Told you I would do that. It only lets me talk for 15 minutes. But before it was cutting me off like every 3 minutes. So at least we made it the whole 15 minutes. Okay. This is where we were. And we were talking about you can't have decimals over here. So however many times you move it here, got to do the same under our division sign. Okay? So we've got this problem that we now know how to work. 525 divided by 25. So 25 goes into 52 2 times. 2 times 25 is 50. And we subtract 52 minus 50 is 2. Bring down the 5. 25 goes into 25 one time. And that super complicated looking problem was actually really easy. 21. Okay? All right. Let's talk about equations and review equations. Okay? This is the really important thing to remember with equations. You have to do the opposite of what it has on there. So, for example, in this first one, if we remember this, the x over 5 actually means x divided by 5. Okay? Now, the temptation for a lot of you guys is going to be to put 9, and 9 is not right. Because remember, here's what we're asking ourselves. This is basically saying, I'm thinking of a number, I'm calling it x, my unknown number. I'm thinking of a number. When you divide that number by 5, it equals 45. What number am I thinking of? Now, if you say 9, 9 divided by 5 does not equal 45, and I know you know that. Okay? So, we're going to have to do some math on this one. The opposite of dividing by 5 is multiplying by 5. So we can put our 5 up here to show it cancels. You don't have to do that because I'm not going to see your work. But what you have to do is the opposite over here. So the opposite of dividing by 5 is multiplying by 5. And then we can actually multiply this out, and we would get x equals 225. Now remember, there's a really easy way to check your work. If we did it right, then 225 divided by 5 will equal 45. So if we do the work, we can see, yep, I was right. Okay. So let's look at this next one that says x minus 20 equals 30. So again, I'm thinking of a number. When you subtract that number by 20, it equals 30. What number am I thinking of? A lot of you are going to do that in your head, and you already know the answer. Now, if you can't do that in your head, then we're going to go through the steps. The opposite of subtracting 20 is adding 20. We can show that on both sides, right? These cancel. And 30 plus 20 is 50. So x equals 50. And that's the answer we're looking for. But then you can also check it. Is 50 minus 20 equal to 30? And we know it is. So we know we did it right. Okay? Now this next one, 3x equals 63, really big thing here is you have to know what 3x means. If you don't know what 3x means, this is going to be a complicated problem. Sorry about that glare from my front door. It means 3 times x. So again, I'm thinking of a number. When you multiply it by 3, it equals 63. Okay? So since the opposite of multiplying by 3 is dividing by 3, cancel, we're going to do 63 divided by 3. You can do that on your scratch paper that you're going to want to have. I promise. And our answer is 21. You can pause and look at what I did there. Okay? And then we can check our work. Is 21 times 3 actually equal to 63? And it is. So we know we did it right. Okay? All right. One more, and then I'm just going to talk to you about a couple quick things that aren't on the slide, but will come up. Okay? So our last one is we have x plus 162 equals 215. So I'm thinking of a number. When you add 162 to it, it equals 215. So the opposite of adding 162 is subtracting 162. So we're going to subtract. Those cancel. Again, you don't necessarily have to do that step, but you got to do this one. Okay? So 5 minus 2 is 3. We're going to borrow. 11 minus 6 is 5. 1 minus 1 is 0. So our answer is 53. And again, we can double check. Is 53 plus 162 actually equal to 215? And yep, it is. So we did it right. All right. There's one quick thing I want to talk to you about. On the placement test, it's going to tell you to write something to the effect of this. It's going to tell you to write something like this using exponents. Okay, so remember with exponents, it's just telling how many times we are multiplying something, right? So here we have 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. So we have 6 to the 5th power. When it tells you to write it using an exponent, it's not asking you to solve, okay? So 6 times 6 times 6 times 6 times 6 means 6 to the 5th power. And that's how you would write that. All right. Now, if it tells you to evaluate something like 5 squared, evaluate means solve it. And remember, 5 squared means this, 5 to the 2nd power, which does not mean 5 times 2. It means 5 times 5. And we know that 5 times 5 equals 25. All right, guys. So most of the other stuff, I just wanted to talk about that real quick, right? Evaluate means solve it. Most of it, I think you're going to feel really comfortable with. Take your time. It is multiple choice, but you really should be writing things off to the side because I do think about common errors that people would make. If you have any questions at all about the placement test or anything at all, just reach out to me. So please take that by Friday. All right, guys, good luck.